one of those things. Now, you do not need to do it the way they did it at Earth Keepers. There is no way I am expecting you to go out and purchase carabiners to snap into one another. What could you use instead? Ella?
String.
String. Fine. So there's not to be expense associated with this, but I want you to share your knowledge. What did you learn? Okay? So you've made a pledge to doing one of these things. You're now going to create an experience that we're going to share next week on Wednesday with our Learning Buddies at Learning Buddy Time. So you don't have to do both this week. You pick one. Do expect that the week after you will do the other one. Okay? So if you want to prepare yourself early, you can know that next week's homework will be doing the other thing. So that next week when we meet with our Learning Buddies, you're going to give them an experience similar to what you experienced at Earth Keepers. Okay? So, some questions. Dana.
How do you know that you did one of those things?
You've done all of them. Everybody did all of them.
Yeah, but like teach other people.
Because we're going to do it during our Learning Buddy time. So you're going, whatever it is that you're going to do, you're going to bring in so you can do it with your Learning Buddy or a small group of Learning Buddies. Okay? Ella.
Do you remember when they were like reading the story and there were things that you can put in your hand? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erin?
How do we prove that we did it?
You're going to do it with your Learning Buddy on Wednesday. So one of those 4 things, you need to get it ready so that you can bring it in and actually do it with your buddy.
Oh, so just bringing it in?
Well, you need to prepare for it, yes. You're not just going to show up on the day of and be like, okay, this is a munch line. You need to have the things you need to actually do the munch line. Okay, so it might be little cards with information on it. It's whatever you think you're going to need to show that piece. Connor?
Can you do both of them this week?
If you wanted to do both of them this week, you could have them both ready, and then that makes it easier for getting homework done next week. But no, you're going to only do one of them with your Learning Buddy on Wednesday. Okay? Tyler?
So we're doing the Y and S, like, you know, how you check mark that. So you're doing what you check mark the Y.
So right now, for homework this week, you're doing the one of your first knowledge pieces of your S key.
Okay.
You still need to do whatever you pledged to doing for Y. So if you said I'm going to be doing my magic spot once a week for 4 weeks, this week at some time you need to still do your magic spot. If you're doing the explorations, you need to think about doing 2 different visits. So you might not be doing one this week because you did it last week and you're going to do it next week. But you need to be still doing the Y things. But this week we're focusing on the knowledge piece, and that's what we're going to do for our buddies for next Wednesday. Okay? Ian?
So are we doing that at home also, or are we
You're preparing the things at home so that when you arrive on Wednesday, you're ready to go with your buddy. Does that make sense? You might want to try it out on your brother or little sister to see how they make out with it, but that won't count.
In kindergarten.
Yeah. Okay? Nicole?
So one of them, it says to make like a trail to set up for the molecule thing. Do you actually have to set up a trail?
We'll be on the school property, so you'll have to figure out how you're going to introduce that.
So could you just like walk around and look at it?
Well, what were the things that they had set up as you went along the trail? They had the number cards, and then on the back of the number cards there was a little story that told you about the molecule. So when we go outside, you would have to have your little number cards ready to go. So it's not that you've necessarily walked the trail, because the trail might just be that I put my number 1 by the basketball court, and then I put number 2 by the portable, right? So you won't necessarily have a trail, but you need to have everything ready for that pathway to go for Wednesday. Dana?
So could you do it differently and not bigger?
Yes, absolutely. If you want to tweak it so that it works for you, you're not going to be able to remember their stories, but absolutely you can make it work for you. The point is that we're educating, gentlemen, no thank you, we're educating our Learning Buddies on the things that we learned at Earth Keepers. Marissa?
For explorations, could you go there like one day for an hour and then another day for an hour? And then you says you have to spend 2 hours.
So, yeah, spending at least 2 hours immersed in 2 different visits. So I think really your goal is 4 hours overall.
Where?
Okay,
So say I do the munch story for the first thing, I could just bring in speed stuff that have been munched by a deer and show them what they look like.
Sure. absolutely. Okay, thank you, Caitlin.